So when I was listening to the prompt for this week's video discussion, I immediately thought of one example of lies through signs. And then as I kept listening, I was trying to think of an emotional one, and I think I got an emotional lie through a sign that I'm actually guilty of. But first we will get to my physical lie through a sign, and that would be all the health food lies in the grocery store. So we see a box of produce or any kind of item that says all natural. And so when we think all natural, we think they just make it, put it in a package, and send it with nothing added onto it. But in reality, all these foods have to have chemicals added into them. That way they can have a longer shelf life. So all natural does not mean no added chemicals. Just think about apples. You go into the grocery store, you go to the produce section, and the apples are shiny. They're just glowing, just wanting you to pick one of them. Well, there's actually this chemical, there's this wax that's added onto apples to make them have that shine. So really, the more natural apple, and if you go to a health food store, you'll notice that most of the apples there are kind of dull looking and they don't look very appetizing, but those are probably the more fresh, more natural apples because they don't have the wax on them. Just think of the sugar. Everyone here is trying to cut down on sugar. Well, a lot of people are trying to cut down on sugar, and you'll see something that says no added sugar. And I don't, it's weird that companies celebrate not adding extra sugar into things. So, no added sugar does not mean low sugar. It doesn't mean reduced sugar. It just means they have what they have and they're not putting extra sugar in it. So if you're trying to cut down on your sugar and you see something that says no added sugar, it still might have more sugar than you're wanting per serving for whatever the item is. My emotional example is whenever I think all of us are guilty of this actually. I think all of us have had a conversation before, and halfway through the conversation or halfway through someone talking to us, we realize we have no idea what they're talking about because we're zoned out. So if I'm at work and I'm on my computer and a team member comes up and talks to me, I'll turn to him and make eye contact, but I still might be focused on what's going on my computer. So I've actually realized this about myself, so I'm actually trying to develop the habits to change my behavior to where the connection of eye contact will actually be honored and I'll actually be invested in what they're saying. So just an example of a couple of habits I develop, I'll either look at them and say, 1 second, let me finish this, and I walk them through what I'm doing to keep them engaged. So I say, okay, let me put this order on hold real quick, release this order here, and then I'll turn to them and give my attention. That way I'm walking them through it, keeping them with me, and then I'm back to them and I'm done with what I was doing. Or I'll say, give me 1 second, let me write down where I'm at, and I'll write down where I'm at. And once you write something down, you can kind of let it slip out of your mind because you know you can come back to it and it's written down. So those are just a couple things that I do because I realize I can be looking someone dead in their eyes and have no idea what they're talking about because my mind tends to wander. So I'm curious to hear what everyone else has to say, and thank you very much.